Good morning from New York. We human apes have tendencies that we must overcome and recognize how dealing with Trump types need the tantrum approach. The tantrum approach was demonstrated in a crowded grocery store once, where the child was throwing a tantrum in the middle of an aisle. Others tried to comfort the child. It continued. The mother lay on the floor next to the child and mimicked the tantrum. Suddenly, enlightenment hit the child, and the child stood up. So, I always talk about having empathy with people and so on, but there's a kind of empathy that means mirroring back what that person is throwing. We can do that with humor and so on. If Trump wants to throw insults, throw him back. Maybe he'll wake up too. That's my message today. And I think we need to take it to heart. Um, the ape like tendencies are these, says the ape, you know, in his sign language, shaking bushes and trying to appear strong. It's the tendency of the tribe to follow. Every now and, but if that person is taking the tribe in the wrong direction, it takes another ape to challenge him. And what I haven't seen in the Democratic Party is someone who meets a clown like Trump on his own level to wake him up, or at least wake up the people that are following him, showing that he's not strong and that there might just be someone stronger. And humor is a good way to do that with, making fun of Trump. Oh, that doesn't work. No, mimic him and make fun. You know, isn't that what the lady did? Laying on the floor next to her child, who suddenly became enlightened and stood up, giving up on the tantrum. It's the same thing. You know, isn't it disrespectful to think that the mirror back is something that someone is too flawed to be able to learn from? Isn't that a disrespect? I love jokes. you know, Even at my expense. I find them enlightening and very funny. And I can be pretty, pretty weird at times. You know, I can make fun of myself. And that's one thing you got to look for in someone who's really strong. They can make fun of themselves. You know, Trump's a big, chunky guy. And he makes fun of other chunky people. Really? The nerve. You know, come on. He's hardly the picture of health. And, it doesn't keep us from being sympathetic. he needs to be in a mental institution. But because of the tendencies of humans, uh, too many of us, under a lot of pressure, which is not the fault of the person, if they're under a lot of pressure and the system is not working for them, just as Democrats have failed to work for them, then they're gonna throw a tantrum. They're gonna get upset, and they're gonna try to follow anybody who's going to be working against the system in their mind. But of course, the system is all about benefiting the billionaires, and Trump is one. And his cabinet often includes people just like him. The people at the top who are benefiting enormously from the work of other people who actually risk their lives every day to make a society in which they can get rich. The police, the fire, and so many other supportive people. Everybody, in fact, working long hours. There are some rich people who take better care of their horses than they want to take care of people. It is a competition. There is a bit of a class conflict. When you have people with so much money that they can buy the government, they've got too much money. They do. Power corrupts. Have we forgotten that? Power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. Well, money's power. And as the Supreme Court said, it can be speech. So the freedom to have all the power is not freedom for the people who suffer under it. So it's time for the Democratic Party to wake up, smell the roses, deal with these kind of people who've been fooled. Give them a little respect by mimicking them. Yeah, why not? Just like the example of the lady with the tantruming child. They're going to throw a tantrum. Why not make fun of it? They're going to run around with, identifying with the ape who's going to save them, who's going to make things worse for them. You can't make fun of that. You really? That's disrespectful. If they have any sense, if they're not truly hopelessly demented, then they can handle a little humor at their expense. I can. Go ahead and make fun of me. I'll laugh right along with you because I really am strong. And I'm not greedy. All right. Now they're poor people are very greedy. That's true. Very self-centered. But we're self-centered when we're oppressed because what else can you do? You're being pushed to the point, and this is what this system has done to people. It's pushed them to the point that they would take any guy and follow him just to upset the apple cart. That isn't really so dumb. I mean, it's worth a shot, eh? Except they bet on the wrong guy. Trump is the thing he criticizes. He is the status quo that has been hurting the middle class and the poor. How come we don't have universal health care? Although most people would like to see that. Well, why do we have such a big deficit? Well, gee, you'd never know it from the great profits that are going like this for a very few people, and like this in ability, in earning power for the rest. Okay, so empathy. Well, part of empathy is reflecting back and having some respect for the other person, that they can laugh at themselves and change. And they can wake up to a guy they should never have fallen for in the first place. Now, if you got another approach, go ahead. But when the norm is hurting people, pushing for the norm is not the answer. We do need change, but it has to be real change. That means everybody paying their fair share of taxes, their fair share. And people who are poor pay more than their fair share in sales tax alone. And they don't get ahead. And the middle class doesn't get ahead. And the future of their children looks dire. The system's not working for them. It needs to be challenged. But Trump's not the guy. And Bernie, I think he's too polite. You know, he's too normal. You know, he says the right things, but you know, he needs to have you know, the ability to reflect back. Now, we have some great comedians out there who I wish would run for office because they can push back. They can put a mirror up to people like Trump, the poor fellow. I have great compassion for the guy. I hope that he finds a nice mental facility where he can be kept from doing harm and maybe find some healing for his obsession with power and crowd sizes. So, enough already. Leave your comments. Subscribe. This is not my channel. It's everybody's channel. Who cares? Who thinks that empathy is important? And that people without empathy need a mirror. All right. That will close my presentation for today. And until next time, keep thinking. Keep being as objective as you can be, as as compassionate as you can be, and as creative as you can be. That's all we can do. That's all we can do. And push back. Be the resistance. The normal will not stop Trump. We have to get outside of that and make some real push. Against it. Just say no. Yeah, sometimes to a would-be tyrant, a convicted felon, and his pal, the richest guy in the world, Just say no. Your trading partners. Stop thinking along the lines that you are just an extra office machine and gee, they have enough of them now. Your trading partners, and your welfare is the welfare of society. Everyone needs to be included. Everyone should be benefited. That's not happening. We need to change from that normal to something more effective. As I say, until next time, you have a really great day.